Here's the outside of the Beijing West railway station, where we're going to be catching our train to Luoyang. So this is where we go to show our passport and our train ticket to catch the train. So there's the arrivals and departures board, and a lot of trains coming and going. You can see this place is like a fairly large airport actually inside. So here's a better view of that board. We are in hall number 6 of, I think it's 11. There are lots of places selling food and snacks along the way, much like there would be in an airport. And Bruce Lee even has his own fast food place here. It's not open yet this morning. So this is our hall. You probably can't really get a full idea of this, but it is just wall to wall with people all the way through. There's probably about 2,000 people in here, all waiting for their trains. And when we get called for our train, it's going to be a crazy crush for a lineup to get on. Okay, so this is basically the queue for our train. It extends right from the front of the hall all the way up to the back, and it's just a mass of people, probably, I don't know, 8 or more deep, and comes around the corner a bit as well. Yeah, so quite a queue to get onto the train. You know you've met someone who's serious about queuing when they're wearing a crash helmet. So we're on the heading down to the platform now. Trains in all directions. This is our train here on the left. We're in cabin 9. I'll see if I can get a shot of how long this thing is. That's one end down there, and then it goes way up there. Okay, so we found our way to our carriage number 9. So we have a soft sleeper cabin. This is the first time I've ridden a soft sleeper cabin. Basically there are 2 bunks, 1 top and bottom, and 4 in a cabin, which is great because there's 4 of us. And so we can rest and relax right through our train ride. This is the train ticket. So top center you can see our train number. Top left is the station we're leaving from, Beijing or Beijing West. Top right is where we're going, that's Luoyang. On the left, moving down, there's the date and then the price we paid and a few other details. And then on the right there is our carriage number and seat or berth number. So I'm down the bottom and Ollie's across the other side from me, and Stephen's up on the top bunk over there, and Avery's up over there, and there is actually space underneath the bunks for bags, but some of our bags are a bit too big, so they're kind of taking up our footroom in the middle. And there's a little table for us to put things on, and a window so we can see some countryside. Oh yeah, and it's got a door that shuts, which is possibly quite nice too. Okay, so a new discovery, we've actually found there's a little shelf unit area up here where we can put some bags, so that might give us some foot space, which will be very nice. So we have foot room now after putting the bags away, which is good. If all 4 of us want to sit down here, we can comfortably. I should mention as well that it's actually air conditioned, which is nice, because otherwise these trains, if you're in some of the other seating classes, you sit here inside the station and it just bakes. It's like having a little sauna. Okay, so this is another welcome discovery. We found that we can actually turn the mood music off as well. We can, that's actually a volume dial, turn it right down. The attendant just dropped in a flask of hot water, and there's a little stand to put it in. I guess this is for if we want to make tea, or people often make instant noodles on these trips as well. And we're moving. This is the view out our window. Not a lot to see really so far, just some trees and grass and stuff, which is nice I suppose. And there are pillows and blankets for each person as well. So we've been almost 3 hours riding the train, and this is the view out the window. So most of the time, very little of the time it's just open green space. Most of the time, as now, there'll be some green, and then there'll be a few small buildings, then there'll be some more plantings, and then there'll be some more buildings, and then every now and then there'll be a skyscraper just amongst all of this. There might be a bridge, things like that. So even out in the countryside, it's not all that country. There's still small towns and buildings all amongst it. And by small town, you can see a lot of them really aren't that small of a town. They've got block after block of high-rise apartments often. Can't quite see that fully on the camera some of the time, I think. This is one of the snacks Steve bought. It's toast, pre-toasted in the pack. You can see there are several little slices. It should be interesting. And we even went past Little Paris on our train trip. There's a little Eiffel Tower, although this one unusually is on top of a building. We decided to play 500 while we were on the train, and it just took us a few goes to remember how the scoring worked, as none of us had played for a while, but we got there in the end. Every now and then they have someone going past selling food and drinks of different types, and even some toys and things, which is pretty handy. I'm getting some instant noodles to make. These are the instant noodles that I got on the train to Luoyang, and they have all these packets of things to go in it, and also this little folded up fork, which you can fold out and makes a decent fork. When you've got your noodles ready, if you go down to the end of the carriage, they have a hot water tap that you can use to put water in on your noodles. Let them sit for a while and give them a stir, and they're ready to go. This is another interesting snack. They're individually wrapped prunes, and the bag says icy fresh, and they actually have menthol in them, which is an interesting combination with prunes. This is one of the toilets on the train in the sleeper cabins from Beijing to Luoyang. As you can see, it's a bit grimy. And this is the other one, which as you can see is a more traditional squatter. And the toilets are really the only thing on this train carriage that isn't nice and clean and tidy. We've seen these cooling towers a few times, and we're not entirely sure what they're for. The houses here look a little bit more traditional. This area seems a bit more green. And now we're just crawling along. It's 15 minutes before we're due to get to our station, so we think maybe we're just slowly pulling into where we need to be. And this is our stop, Luoyang train station. This one's an outdoor train station. And we're back on the train. Turns out there's another Luoyang station, so we're back on the train to go to that one. It's only a few more minutes up the track apparently. And this time, this is our station, hopefully. And this is the outside of the Luoyang train station.